Hello, you're watching World Talks on TVP World. My name is Sasha Farbach. The Olympic movement finds itself at the center of another global debate after the International Olympic Committee provisionally lifted the suspension of Russia's Olympic Committee, potentially clearing the path for a wider Russian return at the Los Angeles Games in 2028. Supporters call it a victory for athletes, while opponents say the timing and the message are impossible to separate from the war in Ukraine. Joining us now to discuss the latest is Szymon Ziółkowski, Olympic gold medalist in hammer throw. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
So I want to just begin from this kind of announcement. I want to just ask you, as an athlete, when you hear something like this, what's your immediate reaction to this potential return of Russia to the Olympic Games?
I understand the movement of the Olympic International Olympic Committee. The time of taking the decision like this is completely incorrect from my. But we've seen that politics is going into the sports. But now we've seen it during the FIFA World Cup. Going right now, and I see that the Olympic Committee is going the wrong way right now.
And what do you think in terms of what was behind this whole change? I mean, it's been now this ban for quite some time, almost about 10 years. It started with this state-sponsored doping scandal. It continued more because of Russia's aggression. Why this shift, do you think?
I have no idea. Of course, there will be probably money involved in this, and but still, as you said, the doping problems with Russian athletes, it's still undisputed, and we have still a lot of controversy in the Russian sport without any doping causes. A lot of them are not involved, are not secured, are not fully convinced after all those years. And but still, honestly, we have a lot of Russian athletes still in sport. Having no problems. An example, in tennis, we have Russian athletes are competing, are playing, are winning, and the world of sport have no problem with this. So I think that, from my opinion, the movement of the Olympic Committee is not good right now, and I hope that international committees of all of the sports got a permission and got a will to separate the sport from doping, from aggression from Russia, from Belarus. And as I know that athletics committee, World Athletic is still standing, that Russia is not going to compete anywhere.
Mm-hmm. I mean, also the way we're looking at it now, you mentioned tennis. I just want to ask you as well, because we're looking also now at FIFA, which is also now considering changing and lifting its own ban on Russia after what the IOC is doing right now. I mean, Russia hasn't participated in any World Cup or any FIFA events. Do you think this is now, I mean, are the floodgates now open, so to speak? Can this still be changed, or is this still this direction now for international sports that Russia will be returned into the fold, if you will?
It looks like what Gianni Infantino is going in FIFA is totally different things. And as we heard what Donald Trump said about his private talks with Gianni Infantino, it's totally out of the sport. And as I heard, the FIFA World Cup for under 15 or something like that, will be held this year. Russia will be involved to compete there. I don't think this is the way we're supposed to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think those we've discussed that as well in the past few days as well. I think this is under 15, there's Azerbaijan. I'm also just curious in terms of, I mean, you've competed, you've worked with athletes, you have been around. I mean, in terms of when looking at the sport itself, we often say that sports is unifying. Can we at this point, or could we ever have separated it from politics? Is that always there? I mean, when you compete or when you train, is there an element of politics still there? I mean, how have you addressed it in the past?
Of course, the politics will be always with the sport, with the Olympic movement. We remember 1968, the American athletes taking medals away after they showed them support to the racism, and but still, I think that this time there is never such politics involved, which is going on the way.
Mm. And it's also interesting, something that Poland's sports ministry has said, that they're going to continue their own policy, that Russians will not be allowed to compete, and that will remain unchanged. Do you sense that there will be a kind of, let's say, bilateral or national decisions in terms of competition? Will this change the Olympic spirit? I mean, how things work? I mean, can an individual nation carry on its own policies, or how do you see this all play out?
There's no other way. So I very support with our sport in Poland. Sport decision about keeping up.
Yeah, I'm just going to interrupt just for a moment, Szymon, because I think the connection was a little bit choppy there, just for a moment, because I want to hear what you have to say on that. So we're just talking about that question of what the Polish sports ministry is doing. I just want to, if you can just repeat what you just said, just to make it clear, loud and clear.
Of course, I'm supporting our Ministry of Sport honestly and with 100%. And I think that there's actually no other way that if the international committee is taking a statement like this, there's no other way. We have to put it on our federations, on our governments to do it by themselves.
Mm-hmm. And I don't want to knock on this, but I'm curious because it's a provisional lifting, right? So, I mean, I'm no expert on this in terms of legal grounding, but is there any way that this could still be reversed? If there's a backlash, maybe from athletes, from nations, could this still be reversed? Or are they testing the waters here, or how do you interpret this?
I think that they are testing, but the problem is that we as athletes, we as the core of the Olympic Committee mostly have no word. Of course, we gotta with our length, but mostly I think that there's idea and decision made it by themselves, and we have nothing.
Right, and I mean, we were just talking about just now the IOC actually lifting that suspension of Russia provisionally, potentially making a return to Russia possible there. It's been really interesting discussing there. And I think also remind our viewers that if we're looking at history, many times countries that have been banned from the Olympics, one of the longest was South Africa. I think that was almost 3 decades. So there is precedent for it, but there's going to be more debate ahead. Look, we'll close it there. Really appreciate all your insights there. Szymon Ziółkowski, Olympic gold medalist in hammer throw. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching World Talks, but do stay right here on TVP World for more news and commentary. Goodbye.